Financial freedom is often imagined as a number, a certain income level, a fully paid house, a large investment portfolio. The image is external, visible, measurable. But financial freedom does not begin with money. It begins with the mind. Before bank accounts change, thinking patterns change. Before income grows, beliefs shift. Before investments compound, perspective evolves. The external result is always preceded by an internal transformation. Many people chase financial freedom while carrying a mindset that makes it impossible to sustain. They believe freedom will eliminate stress, remove fear, and create confidence. In reality, those qualities must be built internally first. Without mental freedom, financial resources only magnify existing habits and anxieties. Financial freedom at its core is control. Control over time, control over choices, control over reaction to uncertainty. And control begins in thought. A person who constantly feels behind, fearful, or powerless with money will experience those emotions regardless of income level. More money does not automatically create peace. It amplifies identity. If someone believes they are financially insecure, they will find ways to feel insecure even with higher earnings. Mental freedom begins with ownership. Instead of seeing money as something that happens to you, it becomes something influenced by you. Circumstances matter, but interpretation matters more. Two individuals can face identical financial setbacks and respond in entirely different ways. One sees permanent failure. The other sees temporary feedback. This difference is psychological before it is financial. Scarcity thinking is one of the biggest mental barriers to financial freedom. Scarcity focuses attention on what is missing. It creates urgency and fear. Decisions become reactive. Spending becomes emotional. Saving feels restrictive. Under scarcity, the mind narrows and survival becomes the priority. Abundance thinking, by contrast, does not ignore reality. It reframes it. Instead of asking, "What if I lose?" the question becomes, "How can I build?" Instead of focusing solely on limitation, attention shifts toward possibility and growth. This shift expands creativity and long-term planning. Mental freedom also requires detachment from comparison. Social comparison fuels dissatisfaction. It turns progress into inadequacy. Financial freedom cannot grow in an environment of constant comparison because comparison shifts focus outward instead of inward. When financial decisions are driven by approval or status, freedom disappears. Expenses rise to maintain image. Debt replaces patience. External validation becomes more important than internal stability. Mental freedom rejects comparison as a measure of success and replaces it with alignment to personal values. Another mental shift involves time perception. People trapped in short-term thinking struggle to build long-term wealth. Immediate gratification feels urgent. Long-term planning feels abstract. Mental freedom stretches the time horizon. It values future stability as much as present comfort. When someone begins to think long-term, their behavior changes naturally. Investments become consistent. Spending becomes intentional. Risk becomes calculated rather than emotional. Patience becomes strength instead of weakness. Emotional regulation is another pillar of mental financial freedom. Money decisions made in fear, excitement, or stress rarely lead to stability. Emotional reactions distort perception. They exaggerate risk or reward. Mental discipline introduces a pause. That pause protects financial outcomes. The mind also shapes identity. If someone identifies as bad with money, every mistake reinforces that belief. Avoidance increases. Learning stops. But when identity shifts toward growth, I am learning to manage money well, behavior follows. Identity directs action. Financial freedom is sustainable only when identity supports it. Otherwise, sudden income increases lead to lifestyle inflation, poor investments, or unnecessary risk-taking. The mind must expand before wealth can stabilize. Clarity plays a central role. Many people pursue financial freedom without defining what it means personally. Is it passive income, flexible work, minimal expenses? Without clarity, effort scatters. Mental freedom defines purpose before pursuing resources. When purpose is clear, money becomes a tool rather than a goal. Tools are used strategically. Goals are chased emotionally. This distinction protects long-term progress. Gratitude is another mental factor often overlooked. Gratitude reduces urgency. It creates contentment without eliminating ambition. When someone appreciates current progress, they make decisions from stability rather than desperation. Stability improves judgment. Mental resilience determines how setbacks are interpreted. Every financial journey includes losses, mistakes, and unexpected disruptions. Without resilience, these events derail momentum. With resilience, they become part of the process. Financial freedom requires endurance as much as strategy. Ultimately, financial freedom is not the absence of work, it is the presence of choice. Choice requires preparation. Preparation requires discipline. Discipline requires mindset. Money expands what already exists internally. If clarity exists, money increases clarity. If anxiety exists, money increases anxiety. If discipline exists, money increases opportunity. The mind sets the foundation. When mental freedom develops, external freedom follows naturally. Decisions become aligned. Habits become consistent. Stress decreases because control increases. Even before financial milestones are reached, life feels lighter because thinking is structured. The journey toward financial freedom does not start when income rises. It starts when responsibility is accepted. It starts when excuses are replaced with evaluation. It starts when long-term thinking replaces short-term reaction. True financial freedom begins quietly. It begins with a shift in perception, a shift from victim to participant, from impulse to intention, from scarcity to growth. And once the mind is free, money simply becomes the reflection of that freedom.